I'm seeing that lately there are a lot of great IM around $100 and even under $100. So for like example, Moondrop Aria, and then the Tin 3 Plus, and also the Yuanli, but unfortunately Yuanli is discontinued already, I believe. And right now I'm gonna share to you my personal favorite for IM around $100 and under. And so hello and welcome to Aftersound Review, and this is my review for the Dunu Titan S. Thank you first of all for Dunu for providing me with this review unit. And it's using only a single dynamic driver, but trust me, they sound amazing. Yeah, I'm saying that right at the beginning, and yeah, they cost around $80 only, so it's not a really expensive IM. So just like usual, I will break down this review from the build, fit, frequency response, sound, and comparison. When it comes to build, I think they are very robust IM. You can see that it's all using metal material, and yeah, they definitely feels durable. And yeah, even the nozzle part, it's all metal, and I should say that the design is unique, and actually I really like this kind of design. It's really different from any HFN that are usually using resin, and this time they provide a really good looking metal material, and the cable itself is 2-pin connector, and actually the cable itself is okay. It's not really good or bad either. It's twisted 4-strand. For me, it's a fresh looking IM. Well, I know that the ergonomics or the fit of an IM is pretty subjective topic for me. I have to say that because of the nozzle part is quite long and it's really looking triangular like this. Actually, when I'm using them and I'm using mask, because it's still COVID here, I feel that it's not really a comfortable IM. So because it will be pushed like this and my ear will touch that triangular shape here, so it's not really comfortable for me when I'm using mask. But other than that, for me it's actually quite good, and for a lot of my friends who have tried them, they have no problem with it. So it may be just a little bit shape problem for my ears. The frequency response of this Dunu Titan S is somehow quite close to the Harman neutral-ish IM, such the Moondrop Aria here. So they both have elevation morely in the bass, and also this upper mid-range raise around the pinna gain area, but the Dunu Titan S has less bass and a little bit more upper mid-range raise. I've been using this Dunu Titan S with my iBasso DX160 as my daily source, and also iFi Zen Air Deck for my maybe desktop source, and I have tried them using my phone too, the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, and for me they are easy to drive. And honestly, I'm gonna say this at the beginning that I really like how they sound, and honestly at $80 price point, the sound is just really complete from bass, mid-range, and the treble area. For me, they are all good, and really it's hard to say any complaints about them. And in fact, at $80, around $100, I mean under $100 IM, this is my current favorite. So yeah, it's a really well-rounded IM. As you know before that, maybe yeah, a lot of IM that has a Harman neutral frequency response all are really good IM in terms of all-rounderness. It's a very all-rounder IM, and that's what I hear again from this Dunu Titan S. And for me, they're also accompanied with this open port that, yes, it gives a little bit of open sensation, especially when you're hearing treble, when you hear cymbal and then violin and some flutes and some percussion. For me, it gives a little bit of open and airiness and gives a really good natural timbre for me. And then yes, talking about the bass first, it's a really good bass. And honestly, I feel more of a mid-bass sensation rather than the sub-bass, but nevertheless, the bass is really punchy and it has quite good speed. I'm not saying it's really fast, but the speed is just plentiful and enough if you are hearing pop music, R&B, hip-hop, and also EDMs. It has a really good punch and really good that decay is really natural. So for me, it's a really all-rounder bass, except you're hearing to a very fast metal tracks maybe. And then going to the mid-range, even though yeah, you could see in the frequency response the
The vocus is mainly on the upper mid-range that I feel, yeah, it's a little bit more vocus, especially on the female vocal rather than the very thick male vocal like Michael Bolton or Josh Groban. But nevertheless, for me, if you're hearing both male and female vocal, it will show you that this IM is, again, it's a really natural sounding and really balanced sounding IM. So I have no problem hearing male or female vocal. Every sound sounds very natural. I'm not saying it's the smoothest, because at this price point I find that the Aria and then the Yuan Li is a little bit smoother, but in terms of all-rounderness, it's still a really good all-rounder IM. Hearing male vocal, hearing female vocal, hearing guitar and piano at this for the mid-range for this Dunu Titan S, they sound really natural and they are really well placed. It doesn't sound really thick or really thin, it just sounds good for me and well balanced. And the treble is maybe it's one of my favorite for IM for around $100 and less, because it's so well extended, it's detailed, and also when I'm hearing percussion, flute, and also violin, it has this kind of resonance, I should say, because of this a little bit of open backness. It sounds really natural and open and airy. So yeah, in terms of tonal wise, I couldn't really find a weakness here, because it's just a really all-rounder IM. The sound is really well controlled and it will suitable for really a lot of genre. And also, talking about technicalities, it is also great. Again, for this price point, I have nothing to complain about. The soundstage is, I know it's a little bit more about width rather than depth, but it has adequate depth and also this airy sensation that makes this IM feels quite large. And also the detail level for me, it's also good. If I have to say that, if you know the AG Sound Hard Mirror that is really being well regarded as one of the most detailed IM for $100, for me, the detail level and resolution level is actually at the same level, but this Dunu Titan S has better tonal and more balance and less piercing treble for me. So yeah, in terms of all-rounderness and overall package at this price point, and we are talking about under $100, for me this Dunu Titan S is definitely my favorite and I have nothing to complain about. Maybe its weakness only came out when you compare them with some IMs around $100 price point. Here's what I mean. If you are specifically looking for a sweet mid-range that is soothing and really well yeah, simply sweeter than this Dunu Titan S, you will find them, especially when you hear Moondrop Aria or the Tench Gym, or the T-Force Yuan Li. For me, those two IMs has sweeter mid-range, but nevertheless, in terms of balancedness, for me, the Dunu Titan S and also Aria has the same level of balancedness, but the Yuan Li is more on the thicker vocal. So if you are specifically looking for that mid-range, I would suggest you to try the Yuan Li if you like thick vocal. Unexpectedly, the Yuan Li is somehow discontinued already. And if you like more sweeter vocal in the same balancedness, for me, Aria is better. But in terms of all-rounderness, for me, the treble at the Dunu Titan S is definitely better than the Aria or the Yuan Li. Yuan Li is the most rolled off of the three, and the Aria is somehow has this strange peak that I found in the treble area that I occasionally found in some badly recorded music. And for me, this Dunu Titan S has better detail to compared to those two. So for me, yeah, the Dunu Titan S for me is the best of the three. It's the most all-rounder one. But for me, the competition is maybe because of there's Olina here, the 3-point Olina. Yes, I have heard them, but the one that I have heard is already changed its filter using Tashim Tanya filter. Actually, the owner said that the Olina, when it's using its stock tips, its stock filter, if it sounds shouty, and using Tashim Tanya, it dampened the shoutiness, so it will sound more tamed. And even though it's tamed already, for me, the upper mid-range, the shoutiness of the Olina that I found is still more apparent compared to the Dunu Titan S. I would argue that the Dunu Titan S is still the more all-rounder one. But in terms of tonality, yeah, it's the more all-rounder one. But in terms of technicality, I should say that you pay $20 more to get the 3-point Olina. For me, Olina is a more detailed and more technical IM, definitely in terms of resolution, and then soundstage detailed, and also in terms of clarity. For me, Olina is better, but in terms of tonality, for me, I find that the Dunu Titan S is more all-rounder. Especially, I like the treble a little bit more on this Dunu Titan S. So we're reaching at the conclusion for this IM. Let's talk about the pros first. It's definitely about the build quality and also how they look. I mean, a lot of IMs at this price point are all using resin or some kind of that, but this Dunu Titan S definitely give you something more excited, something really different. And the fit wise, I know it's not the best partner for me in terms of fit, because when I'm using mask, this angle, this part is always touching my ear, giving a little bit discomfort. But nevertheless, for me, I have a lot of people have tried them. My friends have tried them and have no problem. Maybe the problem is just lies within me. And then also the all-rounderness of this IM, the tonality is really well balanced, and technical is also really good. And yeah, I couldn't say anything bad about the tonal and technical at this price point. And also the treble area, I mean the cons part of this Dunu Titan S is maybe because of that fit that I can only find, and maybe there's a little bit more technical IM at this price point. You just save a little bit more, save $20 more, and then you get Olina, which is definitely a better technical IM. But nevertheless, again, at this price point, for under $100, actually this is my current favorite. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you have any question, please write down in the comments below, and see you next time. Bye bye.